It's for the butcher ones, the fan bleeding blood. Y'all came for our culture, tried to sell us all in the club, but now Milan fights back. Check it, Redbird suits, not to get clipped, no slack. Jerry running numbers while we taking it back. It's the Red Devil anthem, the streets gonna ride. Pistol whip Jerry, make him feel in the long pride. Mess with the legends, the people, the crest. Now the fans on the hot, no soup in the rest. When you play with our heart, best believe there's a cost. In Milan we kings, y'all about to get tossed. Yo, came through like vultures, eyes on the stack, but you missed what we built. Blood, sweat, in the pack. Disrespect Maldini, that's crossing the line. Now you got the fans on side waiting to shine. We don't do this for profit, this love ain't for sale. You turn our sacred badge into stock market tales. But in these streets we loyal, real kings never fold. And if it's beef, you want the fires ready and cold. We find it the heart of the club, played us like pawns. But now the Red Devil's rising, your reign is gone. Jerry, watch your back when you land in Milan, cause the people won't stop till your empire's gone. Redbird suits, love to get clipped, no slack. Jerry running numbers while we taking it back. It's the Red Devil anthem, the streets gonna ride. Pistol whip Jerry, make him feel in the long pride. Mess with the legends, the people, the crest. Now the fans on the hunt, no soup in the rest. When you play with our heart, best believe there's a cost. In Milan we kings, y'all about to get tossed. Yo, it's deeper than the cash, this the blood in our veins. From barbarity to shiver, respect the name. You corporate vultures don't know about the pain. When you strip away the heart, what the hell remains? Saying Syria was a fortress, but y'all tried to burn it. Messing with tradition, when will you learn it? Red and black mafia, the fans stand strong. And for every suit falling, there's another song. Jerry talking business, we talking the streets. You can't quantify passion, we don't play for receipts. Pistol whip your whole boardroom, no remorse. When you mess with Milan, we'll settle the score. Redbird suits, love to get clipped, no slack. Jerry running numbers while we taking it back. It's the Red Devil anthem, the streets gonna ride. Pistol whip Jerry, make him feel in the long pride. Mess with the legends, the people, the crest. Now the fans on the hunt, no soup in the rest. When you play with our heart, best believe there's a cost. In Milan we kings, y'all about to get tossed. Yeah, I came for the money, but it ain't your game. In Milan we ride for the badge and the name. From Van Basten to Conquer, the legends remain. While your suits play numbers, we dealing out pain. So pack your bags, Jerry, the city's too real. We sold dreams, but we see through the deal. Milano don't bow.
Milan Nation. All up there, guys. I'm your host, Nicko. I'm back after a little mini break from this club, from the typical BS that we've been seeing. But decided to make come back with a pre-game analysis show of the Atalanta versus Milan. But before we get started, everybody that's in the chat, thanks for tuning in. I see Carmelo's in there, Fadinho as well. Who else? Give you guys a shout out. Yep, so far. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. Always tuning in. That being said, let's kick things off. All right, Milan Nation. So obviously yesterday we played the powerhouse of Sassuolo yesterday in the Coppa Italia, right? Took care of business against a Serie B team, all right? 6-1. And you give players like Milan, like Chucky, Tajani, Pulisic, those players time and space was swallowed because they came out with no fire, no pressure on the ball. Milan's expected to score goals like this, right? Especially against a team like this. And they're also set a couple starters as well. So let's keep it in context. Yeah, we beat Sassuolo 6-1, but they also benched a lot of the players. Berardi didn't play, usually hurt us in the past. So this wasn't a full fit Sassuolo team. And then that goal that we ate, again, I know a lot of people putting that blame on Torriani, the young kid. Yeah, he got beat on the near post, which you should never get beat on the near post, never, ever. But if you look at that play close, and I just did this morning, there was a cutback, right? So the ball went on the right, down the flank from Tedesciano. Tedesciano made a really sloppy tackle. I don't know, it was mistimed tackle. Inexperience, being nervous, who knows? It was just a bad play. Didn't make a play on the ball. The guy went down. He went down the wing, cut the ball in, and it was a third man run. The guy who scored the goal, Samuel Mulateria, right? I'm probably pronouncing that not probably wrong. It's all right, but there was a cutback pass. Tomori, even Musa, one of those players should have picked up those third man runs. We've talked about this again and again. Those cutbacks are dangerous. They're highly effective on scoring goals on those cutbacks, right? Much more a higher percentage than crosses than your traditional crosses. And so Swallow player cut in a third man run. Nobody picked them up because the transition from our rest defense into our set defense is just awful. It's been all season, hasn't been consistent at all. And that's how they got the goal. But we move on. All right, so there we go, 6-1 Milan. Yeah, winning Coppa Italia now, fellas. All right. Now, let's get into more important things. We have a big matchup with Gasparini's high-powered offense. This is a really big test for our team, especially not just offensively versus their man-to-man press, but for our defense and for Fonseca especially. Can Fonseca put the proper game plan in place, get the players motivated, just like he did against beat up Sassuolo, to defend like they did yesterday, and to be able to move the ball around as freely and find that time and space for those openings between the lines for these type of goals they scored yesterday. All right. Also, can we cut down the lead and get into the top 5 conversation? Because we got Juve's in front of us. I think we're a couple, 6 points behind them or something like that. Last time I checked. Let me check the table really quick. Swallow. It's not the one I'm looking at. Swallow Syria. Let's look at Serie A standings real quick. And we are 4 points behind Juve for top 6. Yippee yay, motherfuckers. And to get to top 5, we are 6 points. So we're 6 points from top 5. Yippee fucking yippee kaye again. All right, if you're a team of 28 as well. 28 enters at 28. At Atlanta's 31, they're breathing right behind Napoli. All right. Yeah. Not sure what happened there, fellas. Milan Nation. But yeah, Napoli's been on fire. They've won the last 5 games. We've lost 1, win, 2 draws, and another win. So we've been, like I said, all season inconsistent. This is not going to cut it long term at all to even crack the top 5 whatsoever, which is still not good enough for myself and a lot of Milanisti that I know. All right. So let's get into some tactical stuff right now as well. So obviously, first things first, let's get into at Atlanta's high octane offense. Is putting up a ton of goals this season. Last time I checked, they're at 20 goal differences. They've scored 36, only allowed 16. Compared to us, we're at 23 and 14, and we're still at goal difference of 9. All right. To put that in comparison, even the Juve was ahead of us there at 14. Lazio's at 12. The leaders, the top 4, Fiorentina 17, Inter 17, 20 for Atalanta, which is ridiculous, man. They keep this up, they might win this whole thing this year. And you have Napoli at 12. Goal difference. Right? At the end of the day, goal differences like that, anything over 15, 20, you're almost guaranteed to win your domestic league. That's a fact. But back to Atlanta's high octane offense. So a couple key things we need to look at. They're very fluid positionally. All right. They're not playing your typical Guardiola positional football where players are set in certain positions based on their position on the field. They're number 8, number 6, a right winger, left winger, number 9, 10. He allows for a lot of freedom on the field, and especially overloads. He likes to overload to get those numerical advantages, right? Either on the flanks, the half spaces, to throw off the opposition defense, right? Because he likes to use his midfielders, forwards, done that to interchange positions, to confuse their defenders, which is, if you talk about Tomori playing or somebody like Chow or Pavlovic, and if Gabi is not playing to set your back line to communicate, that's going to be an issue. First, another thing is the very aggressive on the wide areas, because he likes to use his wing backs. That's typical Gasperini football, right? Vertical and direct runs, which they're really good at, to exploit the lines behind the defensive line, right? Something we need to look at, especially if we play a high line that we've been playing most of the season. All right, we'll get into that in a minute. What options does Fonseca have in terms of defense? He's going to play a high block, he's going to go to a mid block, or drop back like he did against Madrid and play with a back 5, right? So there's a couple of key things for Atlanta's offense. Now, what can Milan do to stop this, to negate it, slow down Atlanta's offense? So are we going to go with a 2-3 rest defense or a 2-5? Depends how you look at it, but I see it as a 2-3, meaning 2 center backs, right? Either whoever it is they are pairing up tomorrow. I'm hoping it's Gabia is back there on Friday with Chow. That's the best pairing so far this season, but that might change. Maybe tomorrow he gets his fitness back, his form, and slots in top position again. I never want to see Pavlovic back on the field, especially in big games. Against smaller teams, go ahead. I could care less. Right? He just doesn't have that defensive awareness yet. Right? He makes a lot of reckless challenges, is out of position plenty of times, and ends up having to make these, last-ditch tackles and saves to make himself like he's doing something great, which he's not most of the time. And if he does play a 2-3 rush defense, Fonseca, when you have our 2 fullbacks pushing up, right? Is it going to be Theo and Calabria or Boy Royale? How are we going to transition once we lose the ball? All right, like we said, Gasperini's offense does a lot of vertical and direct runs, especially in the wide areas, and they do overloads. So it's important for us to get back into our set defense, whatever that is. Second, once we get into our set defense, we're going to fall back to a 4-2-4 mid block, which we've seen majority of the season. Or we're going to fall back into that 5-2-3 formation, that set defense that we saw against Madrid. That worked, right? We have to be, in my opinion, need to be pragmatic against a team like this and not take too many chances and try to get, I know Stan White Fonseca's pushing up the field, playing high. line to get the ball back in really good positions. But we don't recover enough balls with our midfielders. Those are facts. Look at the stats, compare them with other teams. Our recoveries are not even close to the top 5, top 6 teams in Serie A when it comes to ball recoveries and interceptions from tackles, especially. All right. So, if my opinion, from what I've seen during the games, Musa needs to play as well. Play Musa as a third midfielder. Start off in a 4-3-3. Right? Be more pragmatic. All right. And maybe don't even worry about pressing either man-to-man, hybrid, or zonal. Don't fall back into your mid block, into your 4-2-4 mid block, and then that changes into your 5-2-3 if you have to. And have Musa playing on that right side of the midfield to help the right side of the field, right? Either Calabria or or Royale, and also make sure he's, because Musa's good at recovering balls. He's done a good job at the time he's played. And second, he's very physical, right? And he does know he's getting better defensively. He's not the answer long-term, in my opinion. But for now, for what we have, the midfielders that we do have at our disposal, playing him in that next to Fofana, and then you have Tijani playing on the other side next to Fofana. Those are our best options defensively. All right, and then he can fall back into that 5-back Musa if he has to, if we do play with 5-2-3. So those are things I'm curious to see from Fonseca. What is he going to do? He's going to just keep with this high press, or he's going to be more pragmatic and fall back to a mid block, and then maybe fall back into a 5-2-3 or something like that. We'll see. All right. And what kind of is he going to press as well? He's going to press man-to-man, hybrid, or zonal pressing. But we'll see. But like I said, I'm hoping he comes out with a pragmatic game plan against Atalanta to give us the chance to be within this game. All right, and have a chance to come out with some points. So if he takes a risk and goes a high line with our poor transitioning and our poor defensive midfielders that we have overall, they don't recover enough balls, things like that, we're going to get burnt from Atlanta. This is not Sassuolo. This is not Empoli. They will hit us on the counter quickly and expose that rest defense. Now, in terms of what can we do against Gasperini's their man-to-man press, which is one of the best pressing systems in Europe in all of football. We've seen it last year against Bayer Leverkusen, what they did to them, how they took away their options, the man-to-man press. We've seen it in other games as well. This is Gasperini's bread and butter. All right. So a couple of tactical adjustments. This is just things that Fonseca can do to help Milan get out of the man-to-man press and break it and move through the lines and create scoring opportunities. One is use Tijani as a decoy, meaning have Tijani drive back, all right, into space to drag his marker away, creating gaps in Atlanta's shape. All right, that's the first thing. Also, Fofana could also make runs to have space to 4 midfielders to follow him, pulling Atlanta center backs out of position. All right, another thing, that tactical adjustment that they can do, boom, third man runs, quick passes. But in order for that to happen, you need time and space. If they're up on you, right? If you're not winning your battles, your 1v1 battles out in the field on the man-to-man press, you're not going to find that time and space for those quick passes and the third man runs. Another option is obviously full back inversions. All right. either Calabria or Royale or Theo, to invert into the midfield to create numerical advantages within the central zones of the fields. So either 4-2 4-2 4v2s, whatever, 3v2s, whatever the case may be. And exploiting your wide areas. That's another thing you can do as well to kind of break their man-to-man press. We've seen Inzaghi's team, they broke the man-to-man press fairly easy in the beginning of the season when they played them, using some of these tactical adjustments that I just spoke about. All right, so let's see what Fonseca has up his sleeve for Friday. Like I said, if we're pragmatic and we're able to break their press, because they're going to come out hard, especially at home. Atlanta, because they're scoring a ton of goals at home. I think over 3 goals per game. Going to come out firing. And we just got to keep it tight. It's in the first 30, 40 minutes, settle the game in, build the game up, and hopefully we can, slow them down. If not, it's going to be a long day for us, especially defensively. So those are my thoughts for Friday's game. In terms of prediction, man, I hate making predictions. Not a big fan of it. But if we're pragmatic, we could come out with a tie at best. I don't see us winning this game. Being realistic, I don't see us winning this game whatsoever. But in worst case scenarios, if Fonseca plays his typical defensive, this high line and that our transition between our rest defense and our set defense is piss poor, we're going to lose this game. We can lose the game 4-1, 4-2, easily. All right, so that being said, let's get into some. The official lineups haven't come out yet, but in terms of the game itself, the game's at 2:45 local time, my time. That's out in Mexico, the Yucatan Valley. Injuries, Zapacosta is still out till mid-December. Scamacca, he's expected to come back 2025. He's still out. But I know Scalvini, he's back training. So it'd be interesting to see him coming back and see how he returns back to form. Okay, he's one of my favorite players in Serie A. And for us, the usual injuries. We have this Florenzi's still out, Benny's still out. He's due to come back at December, late December, and then Jovic, I don't know what the fuck he's coming back. I don't think he's ever coming back on the field again. And that's a fucking joke because he did get that number 9 jersey. And in terms of predicted lineup, I know it's super early, but this is the lineups that we're seeing. Carnesecchi, Deshmishti, Hien, Kolsenek, Bellanova, Ederson, Derun, Rudiger, Dekelet, CDK, Lookman, Otegi for them. That's a pretty strong lineup for them. For us, this could change by tomorrow again, and obviously by Friday. Mike, Royale, there's no business being there. Gabi, Chow, good center back pairing, our best that we have. Theo, Fofana, Tajani, Chucky, Pulisic, Liat, Morata. I don't think Morata should be there. I think Abraham offers more, especially defensively. He's a little more dynamic. He's quicker. We can if we're going to be able to beat that press, we need faster players, more dynamic players out in the field. So Abraham should be playing, in my opinion. And in terms of formation, it could probably go to a 4-2-3-1 or typical, or in my opinion, our 4-3-3 is the best option. All right. So we'll see what happens. So there's your predicted lineups for Friday's game. So let's see what's happening with the chat. Carmelo, realistically, Coppa Italia along with Super Coppa are the only trophies we could win. Yeah. But let me ask you guys this. Let me put it out there. If we finish 5th or 6th place, which we probably will, and we win either the Copa or the Super Copa, how would you feel about the season? Would it be a success? Because that was something Juve did last year. They finished, what, 3rd? But they end up winning the Copa, right, last year? And their fans were pretty happy overall. I'm sure some fans were still not. Were disappointed in the season. And obviously Allegri still lost his job, but he ended the season with a trophy. Would you guys be happy with us finishing top 5, top 6, and winning one of those trophies? What's up, Shane? Good seeing you, brother. Sugar Shane. He destroyed it. We have more than enough quality to only lose this game by 2 goals. Like I said, Shane, it's all about how pragmatic Fonseca is going to be defensively. If he's not, if he keeps doing the same old shit again and again, if that's the case, I'm not even going to do a post-game show. It's not worth my time anymore. Talking about the same tactical mistakes time and time again. And Fadinha, we've been talking. Yeah, we'd love to have you on the show sometime, man. If you have an X account, I haven't been able to find you. I tried looking you up. But yeah, give us, let us know. We'd love to have you on the show sometime. Yeah, this is a big if. I mean, shit, Fonseca might even surprise us, pull a Pioli, how we beat Napoli during their run. Right, it's possible, but I don't see it happening. That's the reason why. Matter of fact, guys, so Carmelo, I'm guessing Fadinho doesn't have a X account either. Yeah, you're better off, fellas. It's fucking toxic. I don't know if you guys have been following the Milan news lately on X, but it's gotten super toxic. We have a few podcasts out there, gotten really nasty. You're better off not staying offline. I wish I could fucking disappear from social media sometimes as well. All right on. I have to take a look at my messages, Fadinho, because now I'm curious as hell. But everybody in the chat, let me know your thoughts. If we finish top 5, top 6, and we win a Super Copa or the Coppa Italia, which we haven't won since what, 2003? How would you guys feel? I mean, me personally, it'd be nice to win a trophy. Would I be jumping out of my seat? Would I be celebrating, popping champagne like probably Jerry's going to do, and Furlani and Moncada and Ibra, and blow up that win like it was this, this monumental win in Milan's history and whatnot, and come out with fucking special fucking apparel for that win, that trophy? And I bring this up because recently somebody on their podcast, I'm not going to even worth to mention their name anymore. It's a waste of my time. But everybody knows who he is. He's extremely toxic online. I'll say that much. But he on his podcast recently, he said that, he talked about the Copa, and he mentioned the fact that, he said, and it's not exact quotes, but he said, well, a lot of people from the old generation wouldn't be happy with it, or something like that, to some extent. All right. Well, I'm telling you right now, I come from the old generation. All right, pal. And I would be not ecstatic, but I'd be happy with it. So before you start putting everybody in the same fucking category, just pump the brakes on that. All right, so give me your thoughts, guys. Let me hear it. Would you be happy if we finished top 5, top 6, and won a trophy this season? All right. So moving on. Closing comments. So, I'll say this much. I don't have much to say in terms of the club or management. Been over that a million times. But I did see that Maldini, supposedly he got invited back for the 125th anniversary. And there's been some conversation, is he going to attend? Is he not going to attend? Pretty much tell, hey, fuck you, Redbird, for the way you treated me. In my opinion, I think he's going to turn up regardless. He's too much of a professional, too much class for not to show up. He has too much love for the club. I mean, he spent his whole career at Milan. All right. The Maldini name is part of the Milan's history, like it or not, for some of you out there. He's more than just a player. So that being said, I think he'll turn up, because I can imagine if he didn't turn up for his own personal reasons, some of you out there are going to use that against him. So that's one. Two, and I'll touch on this real quickly and call it a day. The ongoing beef with some podcasts out there. Just to set the record straight. I'm not going to mention names. I'll leave it up to the other podcasts to do that I'm friends with. If they want to bring up that conversation and start publicly calling people out, so be it. But a friend of this channel, they put a post about Gasparini online. That the Gasparini quote that he said something about, Moneyball and CDK, we don't use algorithms, blah, blah, blah. And in my opinion, and other fans' opinions, and this friend's opinion as well, he said on this post that it was a dig at Redbird, at the American way of trying to run football. Another podcast responded, a big one out there that we all know. Some of you have been part of their channel before, not their channel, but their chat on WhatsApp, their Patreon channel, responded and said, no, it's not a dig. No, you got it wrong. You don't know how to translate it to Italian. So they went back and forth. And then my favorite podcaster of all time interjected and said some nasty things. He escalated things. So it went on from there. And then, there was some claims that, one of their people from this other podcast that we're talking about had gone on to somebody else's channel and kind of contradicted of what they said before, and they supported Redbird in the past, and they wanted proof. Well, I did provide that proof directly in their inbox to show them, yes, this did happen, because they called a friend of ours who runs another podcast a liar, because he didn't provide any proof online. But I provided that proof directly to that channel on their X account. Whatever they decide to do with that, if they want to reply, comment on it, more than welcome to. If you don't, so be it. But just saying out there, last thing I want to say, stick by your words. If you said things 7, 8 months ago and you've backtracked, now you change your opinion or whatever, yeah, it's okay for me to call you out. But acknowledge it, that you said it, and don't think it because your words matter. Don't say it's a joke or we're just fucking around or we took it out of context, blah, blah, blah. No, you said what you said. You're saying something different now. Second, if you go to somebody else's channel and say something like, oh, I hope Monza beats us, but then you go on your own show and you say, oh, fans that are rooting for Milan to lose are fake fans, that looks bad as well. And I don't care if it's entertainment. I don't care if you're just doing it to gain subs or whatever. You said what you said. And there's proof on that as well. All right? And you should acknowledge it. That's all I'm saying. So, with that being said, Milan Nation, always good to have everybody on board. Pete, what's happening, Pete? Carmelo, Shane, Fadinho, always. Thanks for tuning in, Milan Nation. All right. And I might see you guys on the post game. I might do a post game, but if I keep saying the same poor tactical fucking shit from Fonseca, especially the defensive tactics haven't been adjusted, I'm not wasting time. And that being said, also a shout out to MLM Podcast. That's Max and Gino. Always putting good context. Obviously, my co-hosts for Milanista 360 as well. A shout out to Gio, always doing good work at Coast to Coast, and Steve as well. Stevie P, always keeping it real. And even Kush, man. Like, I know some people don't like Kush, but he's actually one of the few other podcasts who's got a big following actually reached out to me and asked me next time if Milan gives up goals, to give him a little 30-second recording on what went wrong, on my take on that, and he'll use that on his show. So at least he's open to talk. He's open. He realizes he's actually acknowledges when he makes mistakes on certain tactics, certain takes. He acknowledges it. He doesn't block you. He's very professional. All right. He's one of the few professional podcasts out there. All right. So shout out to Kush as well. All right. All right, fellas, as always, Milan Nation, Forza Milan. And let's see what happens Friday. All right. Take care.
Apurarachi embarrado, tabares de España, Sistana, y compa, Quinitarian, la creñado, Ruanmes, gracias pa' Marcos, por contrariano, a poquito, hijito de la lira, llegar allá tornano, que payano de óptico, de una se gusta tismo hierro, la historia de compa cuelgue, caenda, urrulla, voy con su hilara, sotume, arrato titras, eso chivo quintadera, y ese niño en Roma, otro galazo que topa, el coche, cuadro que voy al jardín, ya seré, ese no antes que me fuese, confirma que lo también.
Las balas ya están listas, el pueblo no perdona, Cardinal y sus mentiras, la gente se emociona, en Milan no hay espacio para pinches cabrones, aquí somos guerreros, cuidamos tradiciones. Con billetes hablando de cambiar, prometiste un futuro, pero viniste a robar, despidieron a Maldini, la leyenda de verdad. Rapper solo trajo codicia y falsedad. La curva sur no se calla, siempre grita con pasión. El San Siro no es negocio, es historia y corazón. Traicionaron al escudo, pero el pueblo está de pie. Con pistolas y orgullo se van a correr. Pinche cabrón, ya no te queremos aquí. Milano no se vende, esto es para vivir. Cherry y sus socios se largan del país. Los fans están armados, listos para resistir. Pinche cabrón, la afición no va a olvidar. El rojo y negro es sangre, no se puede negociar. Corran mientras puedan, no hay lugar para traición. En la tierra de los Rossoneri mandamos de corazón. Luncada también, puro cuento nos vendió. Jugadores sin alma, la gloria se perdió. Rapper quiso jugar con la pasión del lugar, pero en Milán no hay espacio para quien viene a robar. Los ultras están listos, ya no queda compasión. San Siro se levanta, es nuestra religión. Con el fuego en las venas y el acero en la mano. Cardinale, ya valiste, vete lejos, americano. Pinche cabrón, ya no te queremos aquí. Milano no se vende, esto es para vivir. Jerry y sus socios se largan del país. Los fans están armados, listos para resistir. Pinche cabrón, la afición no va a olvidar. El rojo y negro es sangre, no se puede negociar. Corran mientras puedan, no hay lugar para traición. En la tierra de los Rossoneri mandamos de corazón. Este equipo no es de ustedes, es del pueblo italiano. Cada esquina de Milán ya los quiere fuera, hermano. Pistolas levantadas, el grito en el cielo. Por Maldini, por la historia y por el pueblo entero. Pinche cabrón, ya no te queremos aquí. Milano no se vende, esto es para vivir. Jerry y sus socios se largan del país. Los fans están armados, listos para resistir. Pinche cabrón, la afición no va a olvidar.